Hey, good morning, people. It's Wednesday morning, time for devotions. I hope you have had a good night's sleep and are ready to save the world. We're into the book of 1 Samuel, and I'm so excited about what I'm going to share with you right now. Remember, yesterday we spoke about the defeat of the Israelites at the hand of the Philistines, even though they had the Ark of the Covenant in their midst. Now, today we realize in chapter 5, that the Philistines captured the Ark of the Covenant. And they took it with great glee and great glory away, and they took it to a place called Ashdod. And they put it in Ashdod, and they said to one another this. They said, after the Philistines had captured the Ark of the Covenant, they took it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. Then they carried the Ark into Dagon's temple and set it beside Dagon. When the people of Ashdod rose early the next day, there was Dagon fallen on his face on the ground before the ark of the Lord. They took Dagon and they put him back in his place. But the following morning when they rose, there was Dagon fallen on his face on the ground before the ark of the Lord. His head and his hands had been broken off and were lying on the threshold. Only his body remained. That is why to this day neither the priests of Dagon nor any others who enter Dagon's temple at Ashdod step on the threshold. I love that, because this is God showing who real God is. And when they took their Mickey Mouse God and they put it next to the Ark of the Covenant, the next day they get there, their God is on his face before Jehovah. They tried it again, he's on his face again before Jehovah. Do they not realize who Jehovah is? That there is no God like Jehovah. You can bring your Dagons, you can bring your Baals, you can bring your Ashtaroths, and in the presence of Jehovah, they all end up flat on their faces. I think the psalmist puts it beautifully in Psalm 8, where he talks, Psalm 2. This is what the psalmist says here. He said, "Why do the nations conspire and the people plot in vain? The kings of the earth take their stand, and the rulers together against the Lord and against his anointed one. Let us break their chains, they say, and throw off their fetters. The one enthroned in heaven laughs, and the Lord scoffs at them. Then he rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath, saying, I have installed my king on Zion, my holy hill." People, there is no God like Jehovah. None. They're all gods with small g's, and in the presence of a God with a big G, because he is only one, they are all flat on their faces. That beautiful verse, the book of Philippians, it says that at the coming of Christ, every knee will bow on heaven, in heaven and on earth, and every tongue is going to confess that he is Lord. Every knee, both in the heavenlies, both in hell itself, every single one will fall on his face before the presence of Jesus. Man, gives me a great picture of how great Jesus is. There is no God like Jehovah, none. And every single one of them will bow the knee to Jesus one day. The God of materialism will bow the knee. The God of popularity, he will bow the knee. The God of prosperity and power, he will bow the knee to the God who is the only one who has that rightful title. Let's think about that. And let's do more than just think about it. People, why don't we live our lives in the context of that truth? Why don't we live our lives in the context of the fact that, or why don't we live our lives in the context of the fact that God is who he is? He's not a Mickey Mouse God that we take out on a Sunday and we worship him for a while, sing a few songs about him, talk to him and about him for a while, and then put him back and carry on our lives. If God is who we say he is, that if God is the God that Dagon and every other God will fall down at his feet at, why do we not live with greater confidence? Why do we live with greater boldness? Why don't we live with greater ability to know that our God reigns? No matter what happens in the world, no matter what happens in your circumstances, God is still on the throne, and no one is going to challenge him in that regard. That's who our God is. Let's walk with confidence. Let's walk with passion. Let's walk with single-mindedness to say, this is the God who we have. This is the God who will lead us and guide us into eternity. I can't wait to see him one day. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Have a great day.